Hello, welcome to Jagoot Village. It's Monday, and as you guys know, every Monday we go live so that we can share some education, inspiration, um, answer questions about the Jagoot way of travel. And today we've got Gil Ficky with us. Hey,
Hi,
Gil,
Joel.
thanks so much for joining us.
Of course.
As all of you watching know, Gil, we a few weeks ago we interviewed Mira, who was flying westbound
Right.
around the world. In the meantime, Gil was flying the opposite way around the world for the same reason. He found phenomenal deals on points to fly to Dubai. So he kind of shared pictures, mostly behind the scenes in the lounge, and he is kind enough to help us out and tell us some stories about his trip. Where, as you can see, it turns out I told a fib. It was not $34 to fly to Dubai. It was 17. 34 was the cost for two people to fly to Dubai in business class, right, Gil?
That's exactly right. Yeah. Just to pay the
That's so
tax.
cool. Oh, and by the way, hello, Ron from Phoenix. Hi, Facebook user from Atlanta. Hey, Robin. For those of you who are new to the group, if you haven't gone to our StreamYard link, there should be something up above. Go to streamyard.com/Facebook. Click a couple buttons. That way we will see who is saying hello as we answer your questions. By the way, we'll be giving away a $100 travel savings card. We'll give away several. So keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming. We'll have a couple of quizzes throughout the show today, as well as a random drawing for any and all commenters, because we love comments and participation. Yeah, Gil, thanks so much for sharing. Gil gave us quite a few fun pictures that we're going to talk about. And I'll just kind of go through those slides. Feel free to ask questions. I'm moderating on my own today. Can't promise that I'll get to everyone, but we'll do our best. And yeah, let's get started. So here, I'll just read for you guys in case you can't see the screen. But Gil, this was all inspired from a post Gil did during their trip to Dubai. And they said, this says, first leg eastbound around the world, Dallas to Dubai via Doha, Qatar in their Qsuite product. And as you'll see, these are enclosed suites that, are semi-private. It's still chin height walls, right?
Yeah, you do have a sense of space as you're laying down, some privacy.
Right. So great service and delicious a la carte dining. Qatar has one of the best business class seats in the sky. The center divider collapses so we could have a rest together. We've got some pictures on that. And then not really a double bed, but with the mattress pad it provided, it was very comfortable. The route was identified by Thomas Spears. Tom is one of our coaches. And as Gil was sharing earlier, Gil pounced on this. We'll talk a little bit more about that on looking every day for deals and why that's so important. And so, yeah, this is called a sweet spot. And as you can see, Gil got $6,000 worth of flights for about $700 worth of points. And we're going to get down into that in a minute.
Yeah, so this is a long flight. It's 12 or 13 hours long. And, anymore, I'm more comfortable in a lay down bed for that long of a flight. And it was always a dream of ours to fly in Qatar because they've always had this Qsuite product that always done as rated real well compared to some other business class product. So it's a dream for us to take Qatar on Qsuite.
And that's the beauty of what we teach in the lounge. So for anyone new to the group, you're watching us via Jagoot Village. That's our free group. We go live every Monday. We answer free questions. Our biggest focus is on introducing you to the world of free travel through points. Now that's a piece of cake, flying coach. Anyone can do this. Anyone can take a free trip or two per year in coach in the 48 states, maybe Caribbean, Mexico. It's kind of like hitting a target at 100 yards. Business first class, that's kind of like hitting a target at 1,000 yards. It takes a lot more practice, a lot more training, a lot more strategy. So we're going to talk about some of that practice and strategy today. So what do we got here? Was this like just before takeoff?
Yeah, that's before takeoff. Myself and my wife Nuna, and then they gave us all kinds of toiletries and a nice blanket and pillow, to get comfortable during the flight. I've had nicer business class amenity kits, but this one was pretty nice too.
Now let's talk about that. So something else I haven't shared is that Gil is our very first coaching client. This was a year and a half ago, and I was kind of kicking the idea around of private coaching, and picked up a few clients. Gil was the very first to jump in, and it was very quick before I realized, gosh, this takes a lot more training. There's a lot more nuance to traveling this way when it comes to being efficient with points and so on. And so Gil was kind enough, like when I realized this, I said, hey, I'm thinking of kind of formalizing this into a more of a group coaching and putting a lot more curriculum behind it. Would that be okay with you? And Gil just said, yeah, sure. And you have anything to say about that? Like, compared to the couple one-on-one sessions we had at the beginning?
We started with a private coaching, if you want to call it that, right? We had a few sessions. We were talking about scenarios and how I would do this and how I would do that. And then there is a lot of information. It's how much information do you want, how well do you absorb it, and how you're going to use it. And so when Joel said he'd like to regroup and develop this program, we took a little bit of a break from our personal coaching, and then I became a lounge client, and it was a lot better. Nothing wrong with Joel, but having the curriculum, being able to refer back to it, and everything organized. If you're looking for points, if you're looking for miles, if you're looking to redeem them, places to go. So the lounge was to the next level on an education.
Yeah. And so again, that's kind of our goal. We give a small sampling of that in Jagut Village of what our curriculum looks like. Sometimes it's case studies like this, other times it's lessons. In the lounge, it's pure lessons, and it's very organized, where you can go through it at your own pace. And eventually, like our goal is to have you in our 6-month program and graduate with the ability to take $10,000 to $25,000 in free travels per year. And we'll kind of do a loose math on Gil's trip here to kind of demonstrate how that worked for this trip alone. So here's just another angle of you and
the happy wife. The happy wife on her way to Dubai.
And all the amenities you got.
And the food was great. I think some of the best airplane food I've ever had. It certainly didn't taste like airplane food. The wife had the lamb chops. I had the Chilean sea bass. It was good as any 5-star restaurant we have here locally in Dallas. So maybe didn't look quite as nice as some of the things that here locally, but for an airplane meal, it was very good.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. They joke about airline food, but that is not the case when it's served in business and first class.
That's true.
All right, let's see. And that's another.
Yeah, Chilean sea bass there with
beautiful
purple mashed potatoes.
Time to turn down. Is this
Yep. They had sheets, they had pajamas, they had, Egyptian covered pillows, all on an airplane.
That's fantastic. Let me get rid of this banner here. There we go. Where'd my slides go? Problem with multiple screens. Sometimes it goes. There you go. More food. This looks like breakfast the next morning.
So I believe this is, we flew to Doha, and our flight came in late because we were late leaving Dallas because of weather. And they had someone waiting for us at the plane, and they were holding the next plane from Doha to Dubai.
Okay.
And they literally ran us, walked us right onto the plane. And so even though that was less than an hour flight, this was our snack.
That's great. There was some Scotch eggs there.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. All right. So,
and this is actually a Qatar first class seat, regional. So, unlike the international business with the lay down, this is what they would call a first class seat, but just it was also a larger aircraft. I believe it was a 777, but not a lay down seat.
Okay. Still looks pretty cozy.
Very nice.
All right. Time for bed.
Yeah. So we'd had a meal, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and we went and freshened up, and they had laid our beds down, put mattress pads down, and made up our bed to get some rest.
All right. And so this is one of those things, like a lot of times people have these objections in their mind about how they're going to travel. And a lot of times people say, oh, well, I refuse to do red eyes. Well, what if you're in a lie flat business class seat? In those cases, I want red eyes. It passes the time faster because you get to sleep through the night. And one of our coaches also happens to be a sleep doctor, and she says that's the best way to deal with jet lag, is to get a good night's sleep on the plane with a red eye flight. So let's do a little bit of math. And these are numbers you're going to want to write down. We're going to have a little quiz. As you know, with these giveaways, first person to get the right answer, this is a $300 one, but we'll give away a $100 travel savings card to the first person to get the correct answer in a minute. So let's just talk a little bit about this, Gil.
Yeah.
So
I found these award seats on Qatar, and the first thing I did was get the miles and put them in where I could spend them to get these award seats on Qatar.
And this was as you were in a checkpoint with Thomas, one of our experts, correct? Like you found this and you literally just kind of said, okay, got to go. And you went and booked that flight.
That was on the next flight, but the one for the summer. But I had been checking every day, and I couldn't find anything that wasn't mixed cabin. And the overseas flight was in coach, which is where you want the lay down seat, and then the regional flight was in business class, which I can sit up for a few hours. I want that lay down overseas flight. So I was searching, and I couldn't find them. And then one day it just hit, and then you have to grab them because you don't know how many award seats are on that flight. And if there were only two, I went back and checked the next day, they weren't available. So I think I got what award seats.
So a reminder for everyone, we have two different rules that we apply with the Jagoot Way of Travel. A, we check every day for deals, whether that's cash deals or points deals. We check every day. There are ways you can check. If you haven't seen our 10 sites training, it's 10 hidden features on travel sites that every traveler should know about. Comment 10 sites in the video and we'll get that sent off to you. But that kind of demonstrates the two different rules. Rule one, look every day, because most of the deals that you see our members brag about getting, those don't sit around and wait for when you get around to booking them. Odds of you finding those deals by saying, hey, let's go to Cabo next month are very, very slim. But if you're looking every day, you can stumble across deals that will save you 70, 80, 90% without use of points. That's just cash deals. And then you also look every day and you have strategies for redeeming points. You always want to have points so that you have the luxury of saying, nah, I don't want to pay those prices. When you see that flights are $6,500, you can say, that's okay. I'll use points and pay $34 instead. We're going to talk about some of the math in that in a minute. But Yeah. So,
But my message there is you do have to look every day because, like on my checkpoint visit with Thomas Spears, one of the experts, I had been checking every day for this flight overseas on Japan Airlines. It was always mixed cabin. And then the one day I'm doing a checkpoint with Thomas, with the expert, he says, "Oh, let me check real quick." That moment, on that day, there they were, business class all the way from my hometown here in Dallas, all the way to Bangkok. And I said, "Hold on a second, Thomas." Click, click, click. And I got those because they were gone after I got them, because I went back and checked, and the 2 award seats on that flight were mine.
All right. And so Robin asks, let's both chime in with our answer to Robin's question. Robin asks, what's the best time to look? Do you have any opinion on that, Gil?
I don't, I check in the morning, I check in the afternoon, just whenever I get time. And I'll let you comment on that. You may know more.
Okay. And my comment is a little bit more, I mean, it's fitting for our philosophy, is that it doesn't really matter. Like the old like Tuesday at 1 a.m. thing, that's from like before the internet existed. But our philosophy is just look every day, because that's how you're going to find the deal. $29 flights to Vegas aren't going to be there. I mean, odds are 90% that they're not going to be there the 1 in 4 times you check per year. $200 flights to Asia, $250 flights to Europe. Those aren't going to be sitting around waiting for you. You have to have a system for looking for them. So we cover that in our 10 sites video. And it doesn't really matter every morning, every night. Who cares? The key is consistency. A lot of stockbrokers would tell you the same about dollar cost averaging. Naja says, where are you looking? We covered that in our 10 sites video. Another question I saw, I may have missed it. Where do you get the points to purchase the flights? We covered that in our free guide, how to travel anywhere for free. It's a 14-page easy read. Comment free guide in the comments and we'll send a copy off to you. This, by the way, is what every one of our members start with. So whether you're a free coaching program in Jagut Village or you're a part of our paid coaching program in Jagut Lounge, everyone starts with the same philosophy. Go and get some points with one of the flexible cards that we recommend in our free guide. The key is having flexible points that you can spend how you want them. Gil didn't have points with Qatar Airways. He knew how to book for his flight on Qatar. And that could be done with flexible points. It could be done with certain airline partners, etc. So the key is to just have the right points so that you can use them how you want them when you need them.
And I've done it both ways. But currently in my wallet, I do have an American Express and I do have a Chase card. And I do keep a bank of points on both of those. At one time, I had over 600,000 points on both of those. And now it's about half because I've been spending those points on flights. But
because you're using them on nice travel.
Yeah. And between this trip and my next trip over the summer, we're flying for free, paying taxes.
Yep. So that $34, that's pretty much it. That's taxes, or $17 a person for $70K in points. Now it's basically $700 worth of points if you value those at a penny a piece. So let's keep that in mind as we have our first savings card giveaway. So let's have a little fun. Hopefully you wrote down those numbers. And the question is, Gil booked this flight for a redemption value of how much? So we're looking for the value per point. What did Gil pay on a per point cost? This is very, very important in the world of point hacking. You really always need to know the value of your points. If you just say, I got a free flight without knowing how much that flight cost, you could be wasting $5,000 or $10,000 worth of points if that valuation is too low. If it's only a penny a point, don't use points, because as Gil just demonstrated, you can get a lot more out of those points. So I'm going to just scroll, see what kind of answers we've got. I see 70K, 1K. Nope, nope, nope. 9 cents. So I don't know who this is, but Brooke behind the scenes can tell us this was a 9-cent valuation. So how do we do that math? So congratulations to that Facebook user. We will comment. We will reply to your comment, and you can email us to claim your savings card. But here's how that math works. The cash value, remember, always know the cash value. What would you have to pay if you didn't pay with points? And then you have the points redeemed. In Gil's case, 70,000 points that he redeemed for this flight. So the value per point is 9.3 cents. So it's 65.32 divided by the points. So basically, he got a $6,500 flight for $700 worth of points if you value those points at a penny a piece, which is pretty much how 90% of the traveling population does. That's what the credit cards would give you if you took a statement credit. So do you want a $700 statement credit, or do you want a $6,500 flight? So the big thing here, always know the value of your points before you cash them in, because you want to get deals like this with 70,000 points, not a bunch of different flights that were $700 each, and you end up flying in coach. All right. So, and again, so like most people redeem 70,000 points just thinking, free flight's a free flight. That's great. I do great with my points. Those people have no idea how much they're missing out on by not knowing the value of their points when they redeem them. So these are all concepts we beat to death, both in the village and even more so in the lounge. And we want you to eventually just kind of get a sixth sense where if something's a good deal or not. If you're interested in learning more about our paid coaching program, comment free coaching, and we'll have a 10-minute conversation. We'll learn about your travels. We'll send one of our other dozens of free resources that might help you get to that next stage of travel. Or we can tell you about our paid program if your needs exceed what we have for free. Now, Gil, you attend Jagut Village all the time. You've got full access to Jagut Lounge, which is much higher level education. Tell us about why we see you every week in the village.
I'm still learning. This travel, I don't even call it hacking. I don't know what you call it. Curating is always evolving. And although I did all my lessons last year in 2021 in the lounge, everything's always being tweaked and updated, and some things go away, some things get started. And I tell you, inside the lounges, there's always new information. People are sharing what they found. The coaches put stuff up. Hey, this just happened on certain airline or certain points, and if you go sign up for this, you can 10x it. So we're not earning a penny a point, and we're not spending a penny a point. We're trying to find out how we can 10x those numbers.
Mm-hmm. And ironically, the way you could 10x those is you can if you average triple the points that you earn, and if you average triple the points that you redeem. So in other words, don't get 1% per dollar spent, get 3 cents per dollar spent. Then you're amassing points 3 times faster. And then don't cash out your points for 1 penny a piece. Cash them out for a minimum of 3 cents a piece. Guess what? You're already putting 10 cents of every dollar you spend back in your pocket. Do that with 5 points for every dollar, and then 5 cents per point. You're putting 25 cents of every dollar that you spend. Every dollar that you spend goes back in your pocket towards a free future travel kitty, just by being more efficient and thinking about how to earn more points per dollar spent and how to redeem those points. Gil is a live example of doing that. Yep. And then it's entirely possible. 7 cents per dollar spent. times 7 points per or 7 cents per point that you redeem. That's putting 49 cents of every dollar that you spend back in your pocket towards future free travel. It's simple math, folks. Two things: earning multipliers and redemption multipliers. If you haven't seen that training in our free guide, comment free guide, we'll get it off to you. Okay, so now we're looking at
Now we're in Dubai. We're at the Andes, which is associated with the Hyatt brand. And again, through the lounge this past year, I was able to get Hyatt Globalist. And so our general travel plans, we always stay at Hyatt's and book the cheapest room and never stay in the cheapest room.
Mm-hmm. And that's through having status. That's one of our courses that we have inside Jagut Lounge. We have lots of different masterclass type trainings and achieving status with Hyatt or other hotels is one of those things. And here's the thing, like, you don't necessarily, like, it was a lot easier to obtain Globalist last year as it is this year. But what's more important is having any status at all, whether it's with Hyatt, Hilton, Marriott, whatever. And as soon as you have status, that gives you permission to get better rooms and ask for better rooms. So it doesn't matter that whether you have the highest status or the lowest status, it's just that you have any status at all. And we show you how to hack that system and get status for yourself at various hotels. Parlay that into status with airlines sometimes. Parlay that into status and free cruises sometimes. So there are all sorts of different ways you can approach traveling in luxury for less than coach prices. What'd I do? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so we just booked the basic room it was a nice room, but they ended up putting us in a 1-bedroom suite.
So, and that's the funny thing. A lot of times I look at these and they look like apartments, but these are suites at top floors of hotels. Right, Gil?
Yep. And, this is our living room that goes into our bedroom and full walk-in ensuite bathroom with shower, but more room than we needed, to be honest with you, just for my wife and I. We didn't even sit at the table, I think, except to get our COVID test. But
yeah, the last place I was at, it was like a 1,500 square foot apartment, and I was by myself. It was silly.
Yeah, but it was sitting there waiting for us. And there we are in Dubai.
Fun. So was this like a photo op where you just dress up for that, or
it was a photo place inside the Dubai Mall. And nice. My wife's first time to Dubai, so we did the whole Middle Eastern thing there.
That's great. All right, so let's kind of summarize this Hyatt stay. So here's another lesson that is very, very important in the world of point hacking. So Gil, can you walk us through just the cash value and what you paid and so on?
I had points at Hyatt, and I could have stayed there for free for 20,000 points a night. And I elected to pay $231 for that, because it's a nicer hotel in Dubai. And so I paid $231 for the standard room there, and then just asked my way up for upgrades because of my Hyatt status.
Fantastic. So let's have another quiz. We'll do another savings card giveaway. First person to answer correctly, we will reach out to you. We will reply to your comment. And the question is, why did Gil choose to pay cash for this stay? And let me just scroll back and see if we had any other questions while we're waiting on that. Here's someone. Facebook user says, what if you already have a lot of points on other credit cards like airline or hotel? Is the best strategy to just look for best cash deal and use the points on those until they're gone? In the meantime, building points on a Chase or Amex card for future trips? I would say yes. I think that's the exact right answer. We've all done it. We've all had individual airline cards that we use in the past. That doesn't mean they're bad. It just means it's harder to find value in those points because you're stuck with um, that one carrier. I like to use a birthday analogy. So if it's your birthday, which would you rather have? 5 gift cards from random friends and it may be to restaurants you may or may not use, Applebee's, Chili's, McDonald's, whatever. Do you want 5 different cards where you have to kind of just cobble those together and eventually redeem them? And odds are you're not going to redeem them all. You'll get a lot less value. Or do you want one $100 Visa gift card? Same amount, 5 different sets of points with airlines or one central set of points with Chase or Amex. It's kind of the same thing. Like, it's much easier to have one $100 Visa gift card to spend however you want, including like your favorite food joint down the street that has happy hours, 2-for-1 happy hours every Thursday, or 5 individual cards. It's kind of the same thing, except way more powerful.
But if you have other airline and hotel cards, you should try and get your max redemption out of those too.
Yep.
Don't just burn them. Don't just burn them to burn them. Yep. Make them pay.
Exactly. It's one thing to say I got a free flight. It's another thing to say I got a free flight that was worth 10 times what everyone else redeems them for. Or I got 10 times as many free flights by being smart about how I redeem my points. You can't do that with cash. You can do it with points. So the answer to this question is discipline. Gil knows the value of his points, and he would have barely received over a penny a piece. It would have been 1.2 cents if he spent $20,000 a night on a room that he could pay $231 cash. So multiple lessons in this. Penny per point rule, and never, ever, ever redeem points for less than that, and strive for 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 cents a piece. That's what you're saving those points for. Just because it's a free flight, just because it's a free night at a hotel, does not mean it's a wise use of your points.
I doubt I would spend 20,000 points on one night in a hotel, but if I did, it'd be a $600, $700 room.
Yep. And those happen all the time. Just go to the Hyatt website and search and see how many points they charge, see what the cash price is. You see it all the time.
Yep.
We have a training on that in our free guide. It's the redemption multiplier training, how to find where you can stretch those points farther. And that's in the free guide. So comment free guide, we'll send that off to you. If you'd like more information on learning how to calculate the value of points, comment to principles. We'll send that training off to you. Oh, and by the way, anyone watching the replay, there will always be a link down below or up above where you can just ask for free coaching. So watch these trainings, and if you have further questions, you can sign up for a free coaching session. It takes 10 minutes. We'll ask a few questions. We'll send off a training that would best meet your needs. So type free coaching in the comments if you're watching live. Look down or look up for a free coaching link if you're watching a replay. All right. Okay. This was a 2-part trip. This was your Emirates flight.
Yeah. So we're in Dubai and we were on our way to Asia, and Thailand had shut down again. And so we were going to spend a week in Thailand. We decided to go on to Cambodia for my wife's family's wedding that we had scheduled there. But we couldn't get our award flights on Emirates to sync up with any kind of award flight getting us from Bangkok, Thailand into Cambodia, which is right next door. So unfortunately, we had to give up our first class seats on Emirates, and we ended up buying cash these business class seats on Emirates, which are still wonderful seats. Didn't like having to pay cash, but the important thing is that you have a nice trip. So I had gotten so much out of the free flights and discounted hotels, I had money to spare.
I like to call that who cares money. A lot of times people say, how do I get discounts on car rentals? Who cares? As long as you're saving on the majority, like saving 80, 90, 95% on the majority of your flights and hotels, who cares? Sometimes you have to pay cash. No big deal. Sometimes you only save 20% on a car rental. Who cares? Like all of that stuff, when you can eliminate all but 5 or 10% of your flight and hotel cost, who cares if you have to pay cash every once in a while for some stuff? Because you're still saving a ton elsewhere.
And we wanted to have a nice vacation. We could have flown coach on that 6-hour flight from Dubai to Bangkok, but we didn't because
Yep.
we didn't want to. And this is the lounge.
So lounges come in 2 different flavors. 1, if you're flying business or first class. 2, if you have premium credit cards, you get access to lounges, which is a game changer for layovers, for delays, for when your husband wants to get there early and your wife wants to get there at the last minute. It's a nice, in between. That's how, you can say, oh, well, let's go and let's hang out at the lounge. So lounges solve a lot of problems in the travel world.
Makes for a happy couple.
Yeah. There is the reminder that they were wearing masks.
Oh, yeah.
More roomy pictures of your suite.
Yeah. And they had that little cubby thing full with drinks and amenities kit, for your flight. Just very comfortable. You never go wrong on Emirates.
Yeah, we're going. It'll be our first time on Emirates this summer. We're going twice. Once to Italy in June, and then going out to Greece in July. Both on Emirates, both on points, both $5,000 and $6,000 flights that we're getting for $100-something.
Yeah.
So now we're flying home.
Yeah. So our way home, we were coming from Cambodia on Singapore Airlines, which is the only international flight in and out of Cambodia today is Singapore. So we flew from Cambodia to Singapore to catch our connector to the United States.
Okay.
And our first flight was a regional plane. It was a 737 MAX. And I'm not afraid of flying on the 737 MAX, and it smelled like a brand new aircraft. I don't think this plane had 100 hours on it. It smelled like a brand new car.
And a lot of people will say, oh, the accident history or whatever. Like that's when it suddenly becomes the safest time to fly on a plane, because they've got their mechanics double, triple, quadruple checking everything. So let's just do a quick breakdown of this flight. So $4,800 flights one way, 95,000 points plus $50.
Business all the way.
What's that?
Business all the way. Yeah.
So this was a redemption value of 5 cents per point. Another example of why we don't go, we don't just care about free flights. We don't just care about a free room. We want free flights and free rooms where we're getting 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents per dollar that you spend, and get way bigger luxuries than most of us would ever spend, real hard-earned cash on. What do we got, Gil? We've got 6,500, 4,800 plus 2,200. That's 13 and change $4,000 in flights. I don't know about you, but I'd never spend that in real hard-earned cash for flights.
No. But if my days prior to Juggling, I would have just shopped for the cheapest business class fare, probably taken some coach segments and weaned it, if you will. But through the education, I've been able to hone that. So I only fly business. I only fly in lay down beds overseas, and I stay in nicer rooms, and I pay nothing for them. So
yeah, it's a great way to travel. So
that's the brand new 737 MAX.
Okay. Another
lounge in Singapore. We were there for 4 hours.
That's a huge lounge. We were there too, and it was gorgeous. Plenty
Yeah.
of room, beds,
Showers. I always like to take an airport shower because, like Mira says, why not?
Right.
It does kill sometimes.
And how do they work that? Do you just get on the schedule? Because they got to have like being able to get in and clean it after every use.
I walked right in, they had empties. And you if they're busy, you do go on a list and they ping you when your time is up or when they're ready for you. But they had probably a dozen showers and 2 of them were occupied. So I walked right in. They walk you into the shower and they give you everything you need.
Fantastic. Yep. More food.
More food.
More food.
This is on Singapore. Yep.
Well, and so we've got a savings card giveaway for anyone. I didn't see a lot of questions. I see one about tap to Portugal. We can let the crowd answer that, Barbara. Someone else recently traveled to Sicily and had lounge access. Both were game changers. Yep. Lots of ways to get lounge access, business class, first class, or just having premium travel cards. And again, comment free guide. We'll send you our most current updated list of our favorite travel cards that anyone and everyone should have in their wallet if they want to get into this game of what I call point hedging. A lot of people call it point hacking. I believe point hacking is like going and getting stacks and stacks and stacks of credit cards. That is not what we do here in Jagut Lounge. We teach a more organic evergreen strategy of earning the best points that will go the farthest and having just a few credit cards in your wallet and being wise about how you use them and maximizing the value. So if you're interested in our free coaching program, which is literally free coaching, or our paid program, it all starts with a free coaching call. We have some questions about your travel needs, and we'll give you any free resources that we have. If your travel needs exceed what we have, we can talk about our paid coaching program and see if that's a fit for you. Comment free coaching in the comments, and we can send that information off to you. And again, if you're watching the replay, you should see a free coaching link down below or up above. I don't see any other questions. Where do I sign up for these amazing deals? We cover all that in our free guide. Those amazing deals start with having the points in the first place. If you don't have the points, you can't book the flights with points. You no longer have a choice. You have to pay what the market will bear. Comment free guide will tell you all about it. Do Amex cards allow lounge access? Yes, the Centurion Lounge comes with an Amex Platinum card. Also something that we go through all the perks, all the benefits, all the ways that $700 fee is well worth the fee in our free guide. Gil, what would you say about that $700 annual fee for the Platinum card?
So I got the American Express Platinum last year, and it was a pretty hefty membership fee, but I am using all of it. I'm getting the $25 or $20 a month for my subscription service, I think with Sirius XM, right? So that's paid for. My Walmart membership's paid for. My first ride of Uber every month is paid for. So, and I've used the Centurion Lounges a number of times since I've had the card. So I've definitely got my money's worth out of that fee, that $700.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Lots
of people wonder
if you use it.
And that's the key. You have to know to use it. I honestly think that those high fee cards are really just to keep the riffraff away. That's how they keep the less desirable customers, and they get the more desirable customers. But the thing is, if you read the fine print of the Amex Platinum card or the Chase Sapphire card, any premium travel credit card, there's almost always a way to offset that fee and get that entire balance back in the form of free credits that they just give you. You go get, you go get a clear membership on your Platinum card, they pay you back. You'll get Global Entry, they pay you back. Uber, they pay you back. All of them, they just automatically pay you back for those credits. You just have to know to use them. Here's someone. So someone says, I'm new here. It seems like many of the testimonials are from trips to Asia. Is that where the best free upgrades typically exist? Call me crazy, but this doesn't interest me. Are these kinds of deals available on flights to Europe or Australia?
I would say that most of the chatter in the lounge are mostly more European trips. My wife is Asian, and we have family over there, so that's why we're Asian centric. But I think in the lounge, a lot of people are interested in going to Europe, and there's a lot of activity.
Yeah, I would agree. Real quick, BB asked, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, asked which are the best cards. We cover that in the free guide. That does occasionally change. So rather than naming a couple right now, I would say download the free guide and check that out. That way it's updated in real time when the rules change, which they do often. And what I would say to that is these strategies work anywhere. The farther away it is, the better the more expensive flights tend to be, the better a deal it is with points. But we've got multiple clients that go to Europe every month. We've got clients who have been to Africa. We've got clients who have gone to South America. Several were in South America last month, several in Dubai last month. So these strategies work everywhere. Remember, we're talking about a strategy. These aren't specific deals. These aren't specific flights. These are deals that exist every day to every part of the world. You just have to have a system for finding them. We call that system the Jagut way of travel. 2 simple rules: look for great deals, go where those deals are, and schedule your calendar around those. Not as hard as you think. It's kind of easy to schedule your calendar around a $200 flight to Europe that's 3 months out. And it's a lot easier to do that than to say, I'm going to go to Europe next month and hope to find a deal that fits. The odds of that being a cheap flight, slim to none. The odds of finding a cheap flight, if you look every day and are flexible on where you're willing to go, maybe when you're willing to go, 100%. Any commentary on that, Gil?
Yeah, so I've already got trips planned this summer. And if I would have waited till later this spring, those award seats wouldn't be there. So, I checked every day. I couldn't find them. The one day I found them, I locked them in. And here's the funny thing, as the time gets closer, if I find a better flight, I can always change and redeposit those miles and rebook them into something else. Right now I'm flying on Japan Airlines this summer, but I like to go on Cathay. Cathay doesn't release their seats until a couple weeks before travel. And boom, I could transfer miles into Cathay, find an award seat, and then I could bookshelf my flight I have scheduled right now. So I'm trying to be flexible. Flexibility is the key. That's for sure.
Yeah. So a couple other questions. Barbara asks, do you recommend trip insurance? Yes, that's a mixed opinion. Depends on the insurance you need. And every country is different. Every circumstance is different. But also keep in mind that premium travel cards typically have certain insurances with them that have to do with like canceled flights, delays, lost luggage, things like that. COVID health type insurance, total different story. Those are discussed in the forums, and I'm sure people will chime in with an answer there. Marilyn is still curious. I've got points. How do you combine Chase City AA points to get a ticket? First thing I would say is start consolidating those points. Start consolidating all of your expense onto Chase. City is, yes, those are transferable, but a lot less partners, a lot harder to use. And I would, just like an earlier comment, use up the last of those less flexible points and start building up all of your points in a central repository with Chase Ultimate Rewards or Amex membership rewards. Best, most flexible points you can possibly have. Everything else, that's a very good question. How do you combine them? In most cases, you can't. You're stuck with like a yard sale of points all over the place that you may or may not be able to use. So centralize those efforts. Have one big stash of points. Remember that Visa gift card analogy. A lot easier to take a Visa gift card and spend it however you want than it is to spend 5 different gift cards to 5 different restaurants that you may or may not use. Angela says, I imagine all of these card fees are only worth it if you travel a lot. I go overseas only once per year at this point. Remember, it's not about how much you travel. The $700 Amex card doesn't cost you a penny if you know how to use the credits. It's about knowing how to use the credits that offset the fees. So a lot of these are big mindsets that are your biggest obstacle. A lot of people think, I refuse to take red eyes. What if you're in first class? I refuse to take layovers. What if it's a 36-hour layover? That's a free stopover. I refuse to pay annual fees. I can get 1,000% more out of a card with an annual fee than any no fee card out there. So these are all mindset shifts that you have to do. Comment 8 mindsets, and we'll send that training off to you. That was inspired by the Henry Ford quote that says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And I would say that that's the case with a lot of different trips that get planned. There's always a way to do this.
And there's a lot of credit card benefits that have nothing to do with travel.
Yeah.
And just look at the laundry list that you get with American Express right now. $100 a year at Saks Fifth Avenue, free. Just go online, buy something, $50 6 months and $50 for the second 6 months, and they take it right off your statement. I mean, there's $100 in Saks Fifth Avenue, and then monthly you get the Uber credit every month. You get the I forgot what they call it, Joel, for the online subscription
the
stuff.
Streaming service.
Streaming service.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And almost anything qualifies for that. It doesn't matter, what streaming service you have, they'll pay you back for your monthly fee for that. So it's not hard to justify those card fees when you use some of those benefits. Now, if you're only traveling once a year and you're only going to go to the lounge once a year, then you're only going to go to the lounge once a year.
Right.
Travel more. That's my advice.
And it's kind of a chicken or egg thing, like once you have lots of points, you travel more. If you don't have lots of points, guess what gets put on the back burner? Your vacations. If you're looking every day, you can't help but travel more. A lot of our clients book trips based on $80 flights to Japan. Yeah. They weren't planning on going to Japan, but when they could fly there for $80, why not? So it's really where your priorities are. If you want to travel more, there are ways to get it done. If you want to keep making excuses for why you can't travel more, well, then you'll keep making excuses for why you can't travel more. It's really a personal choice.
You need to make excuses to travel.
Yeah. Yeah. And cheap flights are always a great win. Yeah. What do you think of the new Capital One card? Our personal position is not until you've maxed out those Chase and Amex points first, or if you have a specific need that a Capital One card fills. That's an advanced strategy that most people in Jagut Village should not even consider. Comment bad points, and we'll talk about all of the bad cards out there that won't get but 10% of what the good cards will. Download the free guide, comment free guide. We'll send you a link. How do you get the most out of points? Read our free guide. Read all 3 or watch all 3 videos that come with that guide. A, we show you how to go and get the points. B, we show you how to earn more of the points. C, we show you how to redeem them for more. Between the 3, you have a powerhouse that doesn't compare to any cash back card in existence. Let's see. 8 mindsets. Ooh, lots of requests for 8 mindsets. Amex airfare is almost always more than other sites. That means you're in the travel portal. So you don't want to be in the travel portal. That is the fox guarding the hen house. Don't spend your points with Amex. Get them out of Amex, transfer them to Emirates, transfer them to Qatar, transfer them to Qantas. I just saw someone said Qantas has 100,000 round trip to Australia. I don't know if that's business or first class. That's actually a little expensive for coach. But that'd be a screaming deal in business. But we cover that in the redemption multipliers video in our free guide. Think that covers most of our questions, and we're almost out of time. So I'm going to pull up our random number generator and look for how many comments we have. Accidentally closed that window. Okay, so random number generator, and we have 452 comments. Wow, busy crowd today. 452. Random number generator. Commenter number 375. You get a free travel savings card. Brooke will reply to your comment, and you can get in touch with us, and we will send that free travel savings card off to you. Thanks everyone for joining us. If interested in our free or our paid coaching program, comment free coaching below or look for the free coaching link. Set up a 10-minute appointment. We'll help however we can, whether that's free resources or if your needs warrant it, we can talk about our paid program. Gil, anything you have to say to someone who's been following us a while and thinking, our $7,000 coaching program sounds too expensive?
It can be overwhelming, the amount of detail that's in there. And I will tell you that this year will probably take over $50,000 in travel, and I'll be paying for some taxes. And I learned that through Jagu. And so everything has a value, and there's a lot of value in the Jagu Lounge.
So that's a big claim. $50,000 in travel. Most people can't get their head around what that looks like. $50,000 in travel, and how much in taxes do you estimate you'll pay?
Well, you saw some of the fees there, $6,500 flights for $17. So as long as you try and avoid London, which has a $800 minimum, I think, trying to pay the taxes there. But whatever they are, they're going to be $17 to $50 a person. It'll just be a few $100s for us to fly in these international business seats. That will cost $7,000 to the guy next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have definitely gotten the value out of both the Jagu Village and the Jagu Lounge.
Fantastic. Well, Gil, once again, this was fantastic. This is the second time Gil has shared with us his amazing travels. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your pictures and stories and experience with us.
Great. Have a great day, guys. Go travel.
Bye, everyone. Happy travels.